What's up, guys? I have a little book review here. The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. If you're looking to escape the rat race, or you want to get your mind, you want a framework of how you can, stop working and get passive income and stuff like that, this is definitely a great book to check out. At first, we have to realize it's not a cheat code. It's not like a video game thing where he gives you like up, left, right, you know what I mean? Like a passcode or a specific strategy where, hey, start a car wash or buy single family houses, real estate in Michigan and stuff like that, to where to stuff and advice like that, like usually people don't have like get rich quick or like practical advice like that. And if they did, the problem is people start doing it and then it wouldn't work anymore, right? That strategy. So this is not a quick cheat code, yet this is like a framework of how to look at wealth, how to look at like what most people do, with the majority of people, how to do it right, and then how to do it his way, which is, according to him, the fastest way and the most practical way, as you will be enjoying your riches while you are young. And so I got this book on Audible, and when I first started listening it, I just realized it's like an 8-hour audiobook, and it's very verbose. It's very, very long. He starts describing how not to do things in the wrong way for the first 4 hours. And I was just kind of like, in the beginning, I was like, man, hurry up. I already know like that I want to get rich. I already know I want a passive income, this and that. Just hit me with it. Just hit me with the good stuff, the cheat code right now. But later on, I kind of realized that this is more, this is motivational, and him going through the ways of all the wrong ways. It's not just fluff. It's not a waste of time. And maybe it's more motivational, because if you are starting a business or you are trying to take a creative route in life, like a path that's not been traveled by so many people, your friends and family are going to criticize you, like, oh, why are you bothering with this? Just go get a job at McDonald's. Just put money in your 401k, stuff like that. So where at least you're going to feel it's motivational, and you can listen to it a couple times a year or something like that and kind of get your spirits up. That's like somebody thinks like you, right? And I've already listened to or read the 4-Hour Work Week and Robert Kiyosaki, the Purple Bible, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and stuff like that. So I was already in the mindset that, like, yes, I don't need to hear about like the whole like work 9 to 5, the whole rat race and stuff like that. Like, believe me, I already want passive income. I already want to have the option of not to work. But still, it was, you know what? I listened through everything, and it was still good. It's still good primer. So the book starts off, according to him, there's three lanes here. There's a sidewalk, slow lane, and the fast lane, right? The sidewalk, very simply, means what, like, most people do in America. Just live paycheck to paycheck. Always blame other people. Rack up bad debt, credit cards, and they feel like they deserve stuff right then and there. They deserve pleasure right away. I kind of like know that mindset. I've been around people like that before, so nothing new there. But he calls them people on the sidewalk, which is, I don't know if the analogy really works, because they're not really even walking towards a goal. Maybe you're like on a sidewalk of a roundabout or something, because if you're just spending all your paycheck and not investing and then using credit cards, you're just, you're one paycheck away from having disaster, and then you have to get fired or start all over. So that's very self-explanatory. All right, now here is like the middle lane, where his advice is kind of controversial, but it's not really. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Although that advice, his whole goal is for you to be rich young, for you to be like in your 30 something or 40 something driving around Lamborghini while you still have your youth and you can just do whatever you want and stuff like that. That's the ideal. You don't want to be kind of like scrimping and saving in kind of like a millionaire in your like 80s or 90s. So he criticizes this type of advice, which is understandable. But this mainstream advice, it's not really for it's not really to get you rich super fast right away. It's just basically to keep you out of the poorhouse, to keep you out of like off the streets when you're older, you know, to have, so you're basically like more or less financially prudent and, you know, you're not like in a homeless shelter. Well, the mainstream advice that he criticizes is put money in your 401k, save 10%, and basically he just breaks down the numbers where, yeah, if you just save 10% and put money in the 401k, you're going to be too old to, like, you might retire a millionaire eventually, but after 40 years of working and then your life is already over. And even you're going to be a paper millionaire, the millionaire that you're going to be, it's not that great anyway, because with inflation, you know, maybe, you know, a loaf of bread is going to be $80. So you're not like, you know, when you adjust for inflation, it's like you're still going to be like lower middle class. Or so now we get to his real advice, which is the fast lane. And basically it's, you got to start a business. I bet it's more, it's risky, it is. But he's saying that like the slow way is risky as well, because you're going to get laid off, stock market crashes, this and that. So either way you go, you're going to, you know, there is risk. Yeah, starting a business. And he goes into the concept of what I really liked what he said that really resonated with me. It's most people are just consumers, and it's easy to go to a restaurant and eat food, easy to go to buy some ice cream, easy to go just be a consumer and buy a car and stuff like that. That's consuming is easy, and you're consuming the final product. But if you want to be successful and rich, you're the one, you have to be in the minority. You have to be the one that creates this type of stuff, aka starting businesses. So you're not a consumer, you're actually a producer. You're in the minority. And then this is a virtuous cycle, because he gives examples of like the business multiplier. Let's say if your business brings in 100,000 in profit a year, well, if you have a dry cleaning, maybe the multiplier is 6. So your business is worth 600,000. If you can increase the sale by $1, your business is going to be worth $4 more. So you got this great multiplier that with your effort, you could like increase the value of your business a lot, as opposed to when you're in a slow lane, you're at work, you're trading time for money, and then you only have 24 hours a day. Your boss is going to be not, you know, you can't just get unlimited raises, and you can't work unlimited hours, so you're kind of stuck this way. So very, very good framework. Get rich quick. He said that, yeah, you might get rich. Actually, you might get rich quick, but to do that is going to take a lot of effort. You got to study. I mean, that's why I think this book is just, I mean, if you set your mind on going down this path of starting businesses, I mean, this book then is just like tip of an iceberg. Then you need to get dozens of other business books or whatever, and then kind of understand market pain points, like understand opportunities in your area or what you can do. And then what I would add, this is not in the book, but what I would add is he's kind of simplifying things. Kind of like with the three roads. I think there's even more lanes than that, where you have the sure way. It's, even though it's not really sure, you know, like just working for 40 years and you know, putting your money. I mean, yeah, you might get laid off, but maybe, you know, if you just keep working and putting your money in the 401k, eventually, you know, over 40 years, yeah, I think it's Pretty sure. Where you go maximum, a lot riskier, but then you get a lot richer, obviously starting your own business, right? There's, I believe, this is me adding stuff, I think there's in-between lanes too, where it's like not as risky and more sure, but you're not gonna get as rich, but then it's more probable. Like for example, I don't know that much about it, I'm not like a big fan of it, but like the FIRE movement, DeMarco would criticize like you saving 10%, putting in a 401k. Hey, if you want to go balls to the wall and really speed things up, man, you can 60 or 70% of what you make, you can put into 401k or put in like the stock market. And if you do this for 10 years, provided like, you can stick with it, it's, this is great. You can probably retire in 10, 15 years, assuming that you can withdraw 3% of your portfolio, your stock portfolio every year, and without, drawing down your original principal. I think doing that for 10 years is probably a lot. I mean, yes, you're not going to be a multi-millionaire, as opposed to like if you start like create like a fancy app or like start like a franchise of some sort that like takes off. So when you obviously the more you want to get to like a higher payoff, like getting richer, the more and more down the risk and skill level that you need. And I think with like creating like a business, multi-million-dollar business, that takes a lot of skill. You have to be pretty smart, motivated. I would say that you don't have to be like the sharpest tool in the shed, but you have to be either smart to understand what the market needs, or just so determined that you keep trying a bunch of businesses eventually to landing on something. Oh, before I forget, there is probably another middle way. There's probably, instead of investing in like 401ks and just like these boring investments. Now, I'm not saying stock trading, like you're like some options trader or whatever. That's like insanely, like only 1% of the people can actually pull that off. I'm talking about the Adam Coos of the world, where you buy you do like the prudent investing of Warren Buffett, like intrinsic value companies like Facebook or Amazon or whatever. So you're not like YOLOing on just like crypto shitcoins or whatever, right? You're buying prudent companies that that have a lot below their intrinsic value, but then you combine that with market timing to where you maybe sit on the sidelines and some crazy event happens, stock market crash or like a bad earnings or just some bad news. Stocks fall 20, 30% all the time like that, even like really like blue chip companies. And then you could do some strategic buying. And obviously it's not for everybody. It actually you have to remove a lot of emotion. It takes a lot of discipline to actually buy at the right time and then let it ride, and not check your portfolio every day, and not sell. So there's one. And then let me get to my favorite part. My favorite lane would be probably just the one that I like think about and research the most. My favorite lane is the real estate method. Now, there's a gazillion different ways of getting making money with real estate. But this one's, it seems like the most straightforward and most simple to understand, and the least amount of skill that is needed. And it's basically very straightforward. Even you can do this with not a lot of income, but it does take like discipline and perseverance, to the point where like in like 10 years of hard work, you can get up to, even if you're starting with like maybe like $17 or $15 an hour with you're not starting with like a high wage or a lot of capital, you can probably get to $15,000, $20,000 in passive income over 10 years. But there's discipline involved, and there's a moderate amount of skill, which is being first couple years you save up for the down payment. Maybe actually it's even easier now because you can get you can buy a multifamily property with FHA for 3% down as long as you live in one of the units. You can do that. You can spend a couple years saving up for that type of down payment. Now, it's really easy to buy like a piece of property that doesn't cash flow. You buy it, but then you lose money, or it has some kind of cash flow, positive cash flow, but then like any kind of roof repair or hot water heater or anything like that could like cancel out the cash flow for many years to come. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like a good, you have like a buy box. You really understand your market that you're in, and you buy a property that actually, after like insurance, mortgage payment, 15% for vacancy repairs, like after like everything is like essential that's taken care of, it does cash flow like $300 or $400, maybe like $200 a month or $300 a month or something like that, right? Well, then, this is like, this is where it actually takes a lot of discipline. You're still being frugal, cheap, saving, right? And you take this $300 a month and you combine it with the other money that you're saving, right? So if you could save $500 or $600 a month before, which is your regular job, now it's like $900 a month that you save. Then you save up another down payment. You buy exact same type of property that cash flows a couple $300, $400. Then you keep buying properties like this, and then over 3 or 4 years, you can raise the rent on your original property. So this little snowball can start snowballing and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then after a while, after you have like 20, 30K passive income, you might want to stop because you don't want to, you don't want to bother with it anymore. But to me, I think that's a pretty decent lane. You don't have to be like a like a business genius to start your own like franchise or whatever, or start your own .com. It's a lot less risky because eventually, with inflation that we have going on, the rents are still going to keep going up. Property values are still going to go up. The rents are not going to go down. Unlikely that property values are going to go down. Even if property values go down, doesn't matter. The rents are not going down because they're not. We're not building enough housing. So, especially if you get something in a nice, decent area, like a high demand area or area with, that's not the next Detroit or something like that. Like that has like an area that has like multiple industries going. So yeah, man, I definitely recommend this book. But unfortunately, as with everything, this is just like the very, very first step, just like the tip of the iceberg, what you need to know in order to quit your day job. There's work, perseverance, and like 10 plus years of hard grind. All right, later, guys.